Bir haftayı daha yasaklar, ihlaller ve davalarla ardımızda bıraktık. Neler neler olmadı ki? Mesela görevi başında öldürülen doktorun katledilmesi değil ama haberinin yapılması milli güvenlik sorunu oldu. Verdiği kararlarla meşhur eskinin ağır ceza hakimi, şimdinin Adalet Bakan Yardımcısı gazetecilerin peşini bırakmadı. Onur yürüyüşleri yine hedefteydi. Tutuklu meslektaşları için açıklama yapan gazeteciler gözaltına alındı. Savcılık düğünden örgüt üyeliği çıkardı. Basın İlan Kurumu yeni güncellemeyle ahlak bekçiliğini üstlendi, sansür yetkilerini kendi kendine geliştirdi. Ve daha neler neler. İşte bizim gözümüzden bir haftalık özet.
The music video of artist Mabel Matiz for his new song titled Karakol, the police station, was targeted with discourses such as it encourages LGBTQI plus activities. An LGBTQI plus music video was shot, and then it was banned by the Radio and Television Supreme Council Rütük member İlhan Taşçı said that the board called all music channels, pressured them not to broadcast a clip showing them a stick under a cloak. The musician, who has been targeted many times before for his open support for LGBTQI plus rights, published a statement after the ban with the title, "I am crying, but with joy," and stated, "I sincerely thank for embracing Karakol so beautifully and sincerely. We have many more stories to tell. Everything about people and life has found a place in my songs and music so far and will continue to do so. Let us insist on continue to express all the states of love and humanity, holding hands. Everything passes, life and song remain."
The press statement, organized by the Dicle Fırat Journalists Association and Mesopotamia Women Journalists Platform to release 16 colleagues arrested on July 16th in Ankara Ulus, was prevented by the police. After the police intervention, journalists Deniz Nazlım, Sibel Yükler and Yıldız Tar were beaten and detained.
Judge Akın Gürlek became the Deputy Minister of Justice after making a name for himself with his incompliance with the Constitutional Court decrees as well as the prison sentences issued against academics, journalists, opposition politicians, and right defenders. Gürlek filed a criminal complaint against journalists Canan Coşkun and Barış Pehlivan for their coverage of the DİDAR indictment. A lawsuit was filed against the journalists with the allegation that they disclosed and targeted those taking part in the fight against terrorism. The first hearing will be held on October 27 at the Istanbul 34th Assize Court.
The prosecutor found terrorist organization membership at the wedding held on June 12 in Istanbul's Esenyurt district. A lawsuit was filed against the groom and 13 other people due to Kurdish songs sung with a shawl in yellow, red and green colors. The first hearing of the case will be held at the Istanbul 28th Assize Court on September 21st. 10 people who were arrested together with the groom after the wedding were charged with terrorist organization membership and making propaganda for a terrorist organization. All 3 musicians performing at the wedding were also charged with making propaganda for a terrorist organization.
The police attacked the Ankara Second Pride Parade to be held in Kulu Park after the governor's ban decree. 46 LGBTQI plus activists were beaten and detained. The police attacked the Pride Parade in Eskişehir, citing the ban issued by the government. 10 activists were detained.
The Konya Fifth Criminal Court of Peace imposed a media blackout on the news about the murder of cardiology specialist Ekrem Karakaya as a result of an armed attack in Konya City Hospital on the grounds of national security and public order. In other words, instead of the murder of a doctor in the hospital, the reporting of the incident became a national security issue. At the request of the prosecutor's office, the same judiciary also imposed a confidentiality order on the investigation. Thus, the parties and their lawyers will not be able to examine the contents of the file and take samples from the documents.
The police prevented the health workers who protested the murder of cardiology specialist Ekrem Karakaya in Konya City Hospital from gathering in front of the Istanbul Medical Faculty in Chapa and from walking in front of the Provincial Health Directorate, and a barricade was set up in front of the mass. A police officer fainted during the brawl while the police were intervening the health workers with tear gas. Doctors who were exposed to police violence gave first aid to the police officer who suffered from the tear gas he spread.
Ankara Chief Public Prosecutor's Office launched an investigation into the 5th Ordinary Grand Congress held by the People's Democratic Party in Ankara with the slogan, "We have the solution." In the statement made by the prosecutor's office, it was claimed that propaganda was made for a terrorist organization, with the slogans chanted at the Congress. 14 people were detained as part of the investigation.
According to the data of the association, 4 media blackouts were issued in June, and access to 12 news were blocked. You can find the full report at digitafratgazeteciler.org.
The Hakkari Governorate issued another protest ban. All kinds of protests and events such as demonstrations, marches, concerts, theatres throughout the city were banned for 15 days until July 17th. The reasons are always the same: protection of national security and public order, prevention of the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Justice Watch, organized every week by the relatives of the prisoners in front of Istanbul Çağlayan Courthouse in order to draw attention to the problems in the prisons, was again prevented by police on the grounds of the 1-month ban against protests and demonstrations issued by the Kağıthane District Governorate.
The NIDA Criminal Judicature of Peace has imposed an access block on the news published on the Sendika.org website about the allegation that Ahmet Arık, who continues his duty as the Deputy Governor of NIDA, sexually assaulted a woman while he was serving as the District Governor in the Kadirli district of Osmaniye.
The Rütük penalized Halk TV once again due to broadcasting the statement of Republican People's Party Chairman Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu within the news on the penalty of the council against KRT-TV, Halk TV, Tele1, and Flash TV, after they broadcast the statements of Kılıçdaroğlu on money transactions made to the U.S. throughout Ensar Foundation and Turkey. The channel was also fined and suspended 3 times for the expression honorable used for Abdullah Öcalan in the program used by the show guest, People's Democratic Party Parliament member Mehmet Tiryaki. On the other hand, Tele1 channel was fined for criticizing the Radio and Television Supreme Council, Rütük.
Former Turkish Psychiatric Association Chairman, Associate Professor Koray Bashar, was attacked after having been targeted in the media and social media due to his anti-discrimination work and his identity as a rights defender. The 2 attackers, who battered Bashar in front of his house, threatened him to stop working and advocating for LGBTQI+ individuals. The Turkish Medical Association, the Health and Social Service Workers Union, and the Turkish Psychiatric Association protested the attack by making a joint statement. In the statement, it was emphasized that Bashar was exposed to a planned attack by an organized group due to the studies he carried out with his responsibility as a physician and a scientist. It was stated, "No matter how many threats and attacks we are under, we will be at work. We will not compromise on our scientific attitude, values, and our identity as physicians."
The Press Ad Institute changed the General Assembly decree on the ethical principles of the press, dated November 18, 1994. Now, along with the newspapers that publish official advertisements, the websites and social media accounts of these newspapers are also obliged to comply with the press ethics principles. The principle of no broadcasts can be made to praise the crime and the criminal, incite the people to hatred or enmity, which was not included in the old text, has been added to the new one. In addition, the principles no broadcasts can be made to destroy the family structure, which is the basis of the society, and against the protection of the family, and no broadcasts can be made to weaken the common national and moral values of the Turkish society were added in the new text. The principle, no broadcasts can be made to encourage terrorism, was extended to information and visuals about terrorist organizations, their members, and events cannot be included in a way that would legitimize these organizations.
The lawsuit filed against 18 people, including former Mardin Gendarmerie Commander Battalion Commander Hurshit Imren, Dargecit District Gendarmerie Commander Mehmet Tire, Dargecit Central Gendarmerie Station Commander Mahmut Yilmaz, regarding the disappearance of 7 civilians, including 3 children, under custody, together with Specialized Sergeant Bilal Batur in Dargecit District of Mardin between October 1995 and March 1996, resulted in impunity. The Adıyaman First Assize Court couldn't find any evidence and issued a verdict of acquittal.
The Constitutional Court decided that there was no violation of rights in the application regarding those who lost their lives during curfews in Cizre. The curfew declared on December 14, 2015 in Cizre, Şırnak, lasted for 79 days and 11 neighborhoods of the district with a population of 131,000 were completely closed to entrance and exits. In the meantime, Judi, Nur, Sur, and Yafes neighborhoods were hit by artillery shells. According to the reports of human rights organizations, 288 people lost their lives throughout the province, while many injured people lost their lives because they could not be taken to the hospital and the ambulances did not go where they were due to the curfew. 177 of those died were killed on February 7, 2016 in the basements of the houses they took shelter in. In the prepared reports, there was information that the people who died in the basements were first killed with firearms and then burned.
Adli tatil öncesi son hafta adliyeler yine bir hayli yoğundu. İşte bu hafta takip ettiğimiz davalarda yaşanan gelişmeler.
The prosecution of 52 Boğaziçi University students continued at the Istanbul 49th Criminal Court of First Instance on charges of violating the law on meetings and demonstrations number 2911 and deprivation of liberty due to the trustee-rector protests. A university employee, who was included in the file as a victim, stated, "I wasn't a complainant, but my name was written there. No one has deprived us of our freedom." The next hearing was scheduled for December 12th.
The lawsuit filed against journalist Ali Ergün Demirhan, who was accused of insulting the president due to his social media posts in which he criticized Turkey's policy in Syria, resulted in acquittal at the Istanbul 55th Criminal Court of First Instance.
The latest hearing of the lawsuit filed against the Health and Social Service Workers Union co-chair and 8 union executives on charges of terrorist organization membership and making propaganda for a terrorist organization was held at the Ankara 22nd Assize Court. The court board denied the release request of former co-chair of the union, Gönül Erden, who has been detained since September as part of the lawsuit, and decided to arrest the union's co-chair Selma Atabey. The next hearing was scheduled for October 3rd.
The second hearing of the lawsuit filed against journalist Nurcan Yalçın on the charge of willfully aiding a terrorist organization due to the interviews she made during the curfews in Diyarbakır Sur district was held at Diyarbakır 5th Assize Court. The hearing was adjourned to September 22 for the defense against the prosecution's opinion, who requested up to 15 years in prison with a claim that the journalists made the interviews in order to give moral support to terrorist organization to be prepared.
The prosecution of Diyarbakır Sur District co-mayor Filiz Buluttekin, who was dismissed and replaced with a trustee and was one of the 11 people arrested as part of the operation against women of non-governmental organizations and union leaders in Diyarbakır last March, started at the Diyarbakır 4th Assize Court. The next hearing of Buluttekin, who's charged with terrorist organization membership, will be held on September 29th.
The prosecution of former People's Democratic Party parliament member Sırrı Süreyya Önder, who was charged with insulting the state in accordance with the Article 301 of the Turkish Criminal Code for his testimony within the scope of investigation against him, as well as speech at the protest regarding the arrest of People's Democratic Party parliament members, continued at Diyarbakır 4th Criminal Court of First Instance. In the opinion on the merits, the prosecutor's office demanded that Önder be penalized. The hearing was adjourned to September 21.
The prosecution of 4 People's Democratic Party members, including one provincial co-chair and Ipekula district co-chair, continued at the 1/4 Criminal Court of First Instance on the charge of public incitement to hatred and enmity through the banner hung on the People's Democratic Party 1 Ipekula district building in order to reprimand the murder of 7 people from the same family in the racist attack in Konya. Presenting an opinion on the merits, the prosecutor requested that the defendants be penalized. The hearing was adjourned to December 27th.
Geldik bir haftanın daha sonuna. Yeniden buluşuncaya değin hoşça kalın. Artık ne kadar mümkün olabiliyorsa.